We are going to have a conversation about the remarkable human body as it moves through its 8th decade and beyond. Reaching the age of 80 is a milestone worthy of immense celebration. It signifies a life that has been lived, a life filled with experiences, with lessons learned, with joys celebrated, and with challenges overcome. It is a testament to resilience. And as we reach this chapter, our bodies, the faithful vessels that have carried us on this long journey, naturally begin to communicate with us in a new language. Sometimes this new language can feel unfamiliar, and even a little unsettling. We might notice changes that we don't fully understand. A new stiffness in the morning, a feeling that our energy reserves are not what they once were, a change in our appetite or our sleep. It can be easy to meet these changes with a sense of anxiety or frustration, or to simply dismiss them as the inevitable and unchangeable reality of getting old. Today, our purpose is to learn to understand this new language. We are going to move away from fear and into a place of knowledge, because knowledge is the ultimate form of empowerment. When we understand what is happening within our bodies, and more importantly, why it is happening, we are no longer passive recipients of change. We become active, informed partners in our own health and well-being. We can learn to adapt, to support our bodies in new ways, and to continue to live a life that is full of vitality, dignity, and purpose. We will explore 5 of the most significant and universal changes that the body experiences in this decade. Our goal is not to create a list of problems, but to create a map that can help you navigate this terrain with confidence, with grace, and with the profound peace that comes from understanding. Before we delve into this rich topic, it is absolutely essential that I state this with the utmost clarity. This conversation is for educational and informational purposes only. It is intended to be a guide to help you ask better questions and to better understand your own body. It is not and should never be a substitute for professional medical advice. Your relationship with your doctor is your most precious health asset. They understand your unique medical history and are the only ones who can provide the personalized guidance you need. Our journey today is designed to make you an even more informed and empowered partner in those crucial conversations. So let us begin this journey of discovery and learn to honor and support the incredible body that has served us so well for so long. Our first area of exploration is perhaps the most tangible, the one we feel most directly in our daily movements. We are going to talk about the shifting foundation of our bodies, our muscles and our bones. Throughout our lives, our musculoskeletal system provides the framework and the engine for every single action we take. As we enter our 80s and beyond, this system undergoes a very natural and predictable evolution. The key is to understand this evolution so we can learn to work with it, not against it. Let's first talk about our muscles. There is a medical term for the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength that occurs with aging, called sarcopenia. This process actually begins much earlier in life, but it can accelerate in our later decades if we are not proactive. Think of your muscle tissue as your body's metabolic engine. It burns calories, it helps to regulate your blood sugar, and most importantly, it is what provides you with the strength for everything you do. Sarcopenia is not just about a loss of strength for heavy lifting. It is about the strength needed for the very activities that define our independence. It is the strength to rise from a low chair without assistance, the strength to carry a pot of water to the stove, the strength to climb a small set of stairs, and the strength to catch yourself and prevent a fall if you stumble. When our muscles weaken, our world can begin to feel a little more precarious. At the same time, our bones are also changing. Our bones are living, dynamic tissues that are in a constant state of being remodeled. Think of your bone density as a bank account. In our younger years, we make more deposits of bone than withdrawals. As we age, and particularly for women after menopause, the rate of withdrawals can begin to exceed the rate of deposits. This can lead to a condition called osteopenia, which is a loss of bone density, and if it progresses, it can become osteoporosis, a condition where the bones become porous and brittle, making them much more susceptible to fractures from a minor fall, or even a bump. The profound connection here is that our muscles and bones are in a constant conversation. Strong muscles pull on our bones, and this tension is the single most powerful signal to our bodies to keep those bones strong and dense. When our muscles weaken, this crucial signal diminishes. So, what is the empowering truth here? The truth is that the rate of this decline is not set in stone. We have a tremendous amount of influence over it. The antidote to sarcopenia and the best friend to our bones is a two-part strategy: adequate protein and appropriate resistance. Our bodies become a little less efficient at using the protein we eat to build muscle as we age, which means we often need to consume more of it. Spreading your protein intake throughout the day, especially having a protein-rich breakfast, provides your body with a steady supply of the amino acids it needs to repair and maintain muscle tissue. The second part of the strategy is to provide a stimulus. Resistance exercise, which simply means making your muscles work against a force, is the signal your body needs. This can be gentle and safe. It can be chair exercises using resistance bands. It can be standing up and sitting down from a sturdy chair 10 times in a row. It can be using light hand weights. And for our bones, weight-bearing activity, like walking, sends that essential message to stay strong. Understanding that our muscles and bones are in a state of change is the first step. Knowing that we can positively influence that change through simple daily acts of nourishment and movement is where our power lies. Our second area of focus is one that profoundly shapes how we interact with and experience the world around us. We are going to talk about the natural recalibration of our sensory system, specifically, our vision and our hearing. Our senses are our windows to the world. They provide us with information, with pleasure, with connection, and crucially with safety. As we enter our 80s, it is very common for these windows to undergo some changes. Approaching these changes with awareness and proactive adaptation is key to maintaining a high quality of life. Let's begin with our eyes. The eyes are incredibly complex organs, and several age-related changes are very common. The lens inside our eye can become less flexible, which can make it more difficult to focus on close-up objects, a condition known as presbyopia. The lens can also start to become cloudy, which is the beginning of a cataract. Cataracts can make vision blurry, as if you are looking through a foggy window, and they can also cause a great deal of glare, especially at night from oncoming headlights. The pupil may also become smaller and less responsive to changes in light, which means we need more light to see clearly, and it can take longer for our eyes to adjust when moving from a bright space to a dim one. We may also experience changes in our color perception, with colors appearing less vibrant. And importantly, conditions like glaucoma, which affects peripheral vision, and age-related macular degeneration, which affects central vision, become more common. Now let's turn to our ears. Age-related hearing loss, or presbycusis, is one of the most common conditions affecting older adults. It often happens so gradually that we may not even notice it at first. It typically affects our ability to hear high-pitched sounds more than low-pitched ones. This is why you might find it difficult to hear the ringing of a telephone or the chirping of a bird. It can also make it very challenging to distinguish speech from background noise. You might find that you can hear people talking in a quiet room, but in a busy restaurant or a family gathering, it can feel like a jumble of noise, and it becomes exhausting to try and follow a conversation. This can lead to a great deal of frustration for both the individual and their loved ones. And this is a critical point. Untreated hearing loss is not just an inconvenience. It is a major health issue. It is strongly linked to social isolation, to depression, and as research is now making clear, it is a significant risk factor for cognitive decline and dementia. When the brain has to work so hard just to decode sound, it has fewer cognitive resources left for other tasks like memory and thinking. So what is the empowering truth in the face of these sensory changes? The truth is that we live in an age of incredible tools and adaptive strategies. The first and most critical step is to have regular, dedicated checkups. An annual eye exam is non-negotiable. It allows an ophthalmologist not only to update your glasses prescription, but also to screen for conditions like glaucoma, cataracts, and macular degeneration, many of which can be treated very effectively, especially when caught early. Cataract surgery, for example, is one of the safest and most successful surgical procedures performed today, and it can be like seeing the world in high definition again. Similarly, a baseline hearing test with an audiologist is a vital part of your healthcare. Acknowledging hearing loss is the first step towards treating it. Modern hearing aids are not the large, whistling devices of the past. They are tiny, sophisticated computers that can be programmed to your specific hearing needs, dramatically improving your ability to engage in conversation and connect with the world. Beyond professional help, we can make simple adaptations in our homes. We can increase the lighting, using task lighting for reading. We can reduce background noise when we want to have a conversation. Understanding that our senses are changing allows us to be proactive. It allows us to seek out the tools and strategies that will keep our windows to the world as clear and open as possible. Our third area of exploration is one that happens deep within us, an internal shift in the very engine that powers our bodies. We are going to talk about the changing landscape of our digestive and metabolic systems. Our metabolism is the complex process of converting the food we eat into the energy our body needs to function. Our digestive system is the intricate machinery responsible for breaking down that food and absorbing its nutrients. As we move into our 80s, this entire system undergoes a natural and gentle downshift in its pacing and efficiency. Understanding this downshift is the key to providing our bodies with the right kind of fuel in the right way. Let's start with metabolism. Our metabolic rate, the speed at which our body burns calories, naturally begins to slow down with age. This is partly due to the changes in our muscle mass that we've already discussed. Muscle is metabolically active tissue, meaning it burns more calories at rest than fat tissue does. As we lose a bit of muscle, our overall energy needs decrease. This is a crucial piece of information. It means that to maintain the same body weight at 80 as we did at 60, we generally need to consume fewer calories, or we need to increase our physical activity to burn more. If we continue to eat the same amount of food as we always have, the excess energy is more easily stored as fat, particularly around the midsection. At the same time, our digestive tract itself is also maturing. The stomach may produce less hydrochloric acid. This stomach acid is a key player in digestion. It helps to break down proteins, and it is also essential for the absorption of certain crucial nutrients, most notably vitamin B12. A deficiency in vitamin B12 can lead to fatigue and even neurological issues, so this is an important change to be aware of. Further down the line, the muscular contractions that move food through our intestines, a process called peristalsis, can become a little slower and less forceful. This, combined with the fact that our sense of thirst can diminish, putting us at a higher risk of dehydration, creates a perfect storm for a very common and uncomfortable issue: constipation. So what is the empowering strategy to navigate this changing internal landscape? The strategy is to shift our focus from the quantity of food to the quality of food. The new mantra is nutrient density. Since we have a slightly smaller calorie budget to work with, we need to make every single calorie count. This means choosing foods that are packed with vitamins, minerals, protein, and fiber. We need to prioritize colorful fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. We need to actively combat the risk of constipation by making two things a daily, non-negotiable habit: fiber and water. Soluble and insoluble fiber from foods like oats, beans, apples, and broccoli adds bulk and softness to stool, while water is essential to help that fiber do its job. We may also need to change how we eat. Instead of 3 large meals, some people find that 4 or 5 smaller, nutrient-dense mini-meals throughout the day are easier to digest and help to keep their energy levels more stable. And because of the changes in stomach acid, it's very important to ask your doctor if you should have your vitamin B12 levels checked. Sometimes a supplement may be recommended. By understanding that our internal engine is becoming more of a high-efficiency model, we can learn to provide it with the premium fuel it needs to run smoothly and powerfully for years to come. Our fourth area of discovery is the one that relates to the very rhythm of life itself: the heart and the lungs. Our cardiovascular and respiratory systems are our body's life support. The heart is the tireless pump, and the lungs are the essential bellows, working together in a beautiful, continuous dance to deliver oxygen-rich blood to every single cell in our body. After 8 decades of this constant, faithful work, it is natural that these systems experience some gentle, age-related modifications. Understanding these modifications can help us to support this vital dance and maintain our endurance and our vitality. Let's begin with the heart. The heart is a muscle, and like other muscles in the body, it can change over time. The heart wall can become slightly thicker and a little less flexible. The heart valves, which control the direction of blood flow, can become a bit stiffer. Our heart rate may become a little slower at rest, and it may take a little longer to speed up during activity, and a little longer to slow back down afterward. Our blood vessels, the arteries and veins, also change. They can become stiffer and less elastic, a condition often referred to as arteriosclerosis. This means that when the heart pumps blood into them, they don't expand as easily, which can be a contributing factor to the very common rise in blood pressure that we see in older adults. Another important change is in the body's ability to regulate blood pressure when we change positions. The system that tells our blood vessels to constrict quickly when we stand up can become a little slower, which is why some seniors may experience a sudden feeling of dizziness or lightheadedness upon standing, a condition known as orthostatic hypotension. Now let's consider our lungs. The lung tissue itself can lose some of its elasticity, meaning it doesn't spring back as readily after each breath. The muscles that support our breathing, like the diaphragm, can weaken slightly. This can lead to a decrease in what is called our vital capacity, which is the maximum amount of air we can exhale after taking a deep breath. This doesn't mean we can't get enough air for normal daily activities, but it might mean that we feel short of breath more quickly during strenuous exertion, like hurrying to catch a bus or climbing a steep hill. The tiny air sacs in our lungs, the alveoli, may also not exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide as efficiently as they once did. The empowering truth that guides us here is that while we cannot turn back the clock on these structural changes, we can profoundly improve the function of our cardiovascular and respiratory systems through gentle, consistent activity. The best type of activity for this is aerobic or cardiovascular exercise. This is any activity that gets your heart rate up and makes you breathe a little deeper, sustained over a period of time. It does not need to be intense. Brisk walking is a superb form of aerobic exercise. So is swimming or water aerobics, which has the added benefit of being very gentle on the joints. Even chair-based aerobic exercises, like fast-seated marching, can be incredibly effective. Regular aerobic activity encourages the heart to pump more efficiently, helps our blood vessels to remain more flexible, and can be a powerful tool in managing blood pressure. It also strengthens our respiratory muscles, allowing us to use our lung capacity more effectively. We can also practice specific breathing exercises, like deep diaphragmatic or belly breathing, to strengthen our diaphragm and improve the efficiency of our breath. And we can manage the risk of dizziness upon standing by adopting a simple habit. Move slowly. Sit on the edge of the bed for a moment before you stand up. Rise from a chair in stages. These small adaptations, combined with a commitment to gentle, heart-healthy movement, are how we honor and support the tireless, life-giving rhythm of our heart and our lungs. Our fifth and final area of understanding brings us to the command center of our entire being, our nervous system and the crucial role it plays in our sleep. The nervous system, comprised of our brain, our spinal cord, and a vast network of nerves, is the master communicator coordinating every thought, every movement, and every sensation. As it matures through our 80s, its pacing and its patterns can shift, most notably in how we process information and how we experience rest. Let's first talk about the brain. There is a pervasive and damaging myth that significant cognitive decline is an inevitable part of aging. As we've discussed before, this is largely untrue. However, some subtle changes in cognitive processing are normal. Our processing speed, the time it takes to absorb, assess, and respond to information, can slow down. This doesn't mean we can't think clearly. It just means it might take us a little longer to work through a complex problem or to learn a new skill. Our ability to multitask, to juggle several streams of information at once, may also decline. It becomes more important to focus on one task at a time. Our fluid intelligence, which is our ability to solve novel problems, may decrease slightly, but our crystallized intelligence, which is the vast library of knowledge, skills, and wisdom we have accumulated over a lifetime, often continues to increase. This is the very basis of wisdom. Perhaps one of the most noticeable changes governed by our nervous system is in our sleep architecture. The structure of our sleep cycles naturally changes as we age. We tend to spend less time in the deepest, most physically restorative stage of sleep, known as slow-wave sleep. We also tend to have less REM sleep, which is important for mental and emotional processing. As a result, our sleep becomes lighter and more fragmented. We are more easily awakened by noises, by a change in temperature, or by the need to use the bathroom. This is why it is so common for seniors to wake up several times during the night. This is a normal, age-related change. The problem is not necessarily the waking itself, but the difficulty we can have in falling back to sleep, which can lead to a cycle of fatigue and worry about not getting enough sleep. The empowering truth here is that we can create the optimal conditions for our brain and our sleep to thrive. To support our cognitive health, we must embrace the principle of use it or lose it. We need to keep our brains active and engaged. This means seeking out novelty and challenge. Reading, doing puzzles, playing strategic games like bridge or chess, learning a new hobby, and most importantly, staying socially engaged, are all powerful forms of brain exercise. A lively conversation is a complex workout for the brain. And for our sleep, the key is to focus not on forcing sleep, but on creating an ironclad routine and a perfect sleep environment. This is known as practicing good sleep hygiene. This means going to bed and waking up at the same time every single day, even on weekends, to regulate our internal clock. It means creating a wind-down routine in the hour before bed that is free of stimulating screens. It means ensuring our bedroom is cool, dark, and quiet. And it means adopting the crucial rule that if you are awake in bed for more than 20 minutes, you get up, go to another dimly lit room, and do something calm until you feel sleepy again. This breaks the anxious association between your bed and a state of frustrated wakefulness. By understanding that our nervous system has a new rhythm, we can learn to support it through mental engagement, and by creating the predictable, calming cues it needs to achieve the best possible rest. As we bring our journey of understanding to a close, let's take a moment to reflect on the map we have created. We've seen the shifting foundation of our muscles and bones, and learned that we can support it with protein and movement. We've explored the recalibration of our senses, and discovered the power of regular checkups and simple adaptations. We've navigated the changing landscape of our digestion and metabolism, and embraced the wisdom of nutrient density. We've listened to the maturing rhythm of our heart and lungs, and found we can support it with gentle, consistent activity. And we've tuned into the new patterns of our nervous system and sleep, and learned to support them with engagement and routine. My deepest hope is that this conversation has not been one of loss, but one of profound empowerment. Understanding these changes is not about dwelling on decline. It is about gaining a deep and respectful appreciation for the incredible adaptability of the human body. It is about shifting our focus from what we can no longer do, to what we can do, right now, to support the body we have today. This knowledge transforms you from a passenger into the wise and compassionate captain of your own health journey. It equips you to work in true partnership with your medical team. It allows you to make daily choices that are aligned with your body's evolving needs. The journey through our 80s and beyond is a privilege. It is a time that holds the potential for a unique kind of grace, a profound sense of perspective, and a deep and quiet joy. By understanding and honoring the vessel that carries us on this journey, we give ourselves the greatest possible gift, the freedom to live these precious years to their absolute fullest. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Be well, and walk forward in the power of your own wisdom.